Hello everyone and welcome, it's Shanna. Now I'm back again with a set of KCC 15. Here's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I've got 7 cards done and I use the Springtime's Blessings from Not Too Shabby. It's a beautiful Easter set. It has a faith-based set. It's got some faith-based sentiments. And I'm going to work on some more of the sketches. My goal is to finish the 15 of these cards so that I can get them submitted for Kendra's Card Challenge. And so I'm just bringing in the next sketch, and I believe it's sketch 8. And I'm going to take my back panel and I'm going to use an embossing folder and add some texture to it. I think it is gorgeous. And I've got a basket there and it's almost like a basket weave pattern, so it goes nicely. Now I'm holding this up to the card base and I'm realizing that my sketch calls for a 1/4 of an inch to come off of that, so I'm going to take that off and I'll just use my guillotine, looking to see which side I want to cut off of. And we're just going to cut it down. So we're just going to take a 1/4 of an inch off one side and then the bottom. And then we'll get to creating our card. Now, with this, with a card kit like the Springtime Blessings and the ephemera, if you've got, some pattern paper and some ephemera, and you've got some sketches, you've got some quick card making. This is a great way for beginners to begin making cards. Get you a really nice pattern paper and some coordinating ephemera, and find you some sketches, and this is how you can very quickly learn to make some cards and make them very beautiful. Now you can see I am on the struggle bus with this glue, and I had 2 or 3 sitting beside there, and I kept sticking the pins in them and none of them were working, and so that's why I keep going back and forth off camera. And yes, I am pajama crafting tonight. So my husband was gone, and I just came home, put my jammies on, got me something to eat, and then decided that I was going to spend the evening in the craft room in my pajamas. So there I'm just showing you the sketch and, kind of how it looks. We're going to be layering some panels on top of each other for this particular sketch. Now you can get these sketches from kendrascardchallenges.com. If you join her Patreon as a free member. Here I am fighting with that glue bottle again. Our temperatures keep changing like these wild swings, and whenever it does that, it seems like I have trouble with this glue. I would, halfway through this, I thought, why didn't you just use a tape runner? But I didn't. I'm going to fuss with it through the whole video. So we're going to get this panel laid down on there and give it a good press because we've got some embossed detail. And then I'm going to bring in another panel that we're going to layer up. And this is a real pretty floral panel. With some tiny little florals on it, and we're going to get it laid down on there, and I'm going to have to come back and add a little bit more glue on it because it's not going to stick. I'll realize it in a minute when I go to bring in my next piece. And here I am with that glue bottle again. So we'll just tuck some more glue down in there. I was off to the side using that pin again, trying to poke it and get it to run. And then we're going to have a banner strip. This sketch calls for a banner going horizontal and then one that goes vertical as well. So we're going to bring in another little banner that I snipped and cut down, and we'll get it laid down on there. And this is really fun for, just using all the little scraps. You can just, if you've got a lot of little coordinating scraps, you can just cut them down and layer them up and create a really fun card. So this is our basket, and you can see we've got that basket weave pattern, the 3D embossing, and it really adds to it. I'm telling you, embossing folders are fairly inexpensive, and as far as craft supplies go, and they just add so much. Now, I decided to go ahead and switch that basket out for whatever reason. I think because I wanted something with a cinnamon on it so that I wouldn't have to add it. So I'm just going to bring in this little floral kind of cluster that has a cinnamon on it, and we're just going to lay it down. I think it looks really pretty. Very pretty. So just some real soft, light, airy colors on that sketch. Now we're going to go into the next one, and I've got the picture there to show you. And I make my own card bases. This one's not lined up right. I'm going to get it lined up, and I'm going to give it a good score, and then we're going to go for it. So just give it a good press, and then we're ready to go. So I've got all of my pieces laid off to the side. I've got them cut and kind of the design kind of laid out there with the ephemera and stuff so that it makes for some quick card making. And I'm going to get it laid down on there. This is a top folding, I think. And then we're going to just bring in our pieces. I thought this pattern paper, it has some almost like some gold, it almost looks like some gold lines in it. And so I thought, let's just pair this up with some gold Spellbinders Treasured cardstock. And so that's what I did. I've got a little panel there, and I think it helps to pull out some of those gold. You can see that pattern on the back of that. All of these that have that pattern on the back, they've kind of got like a gold line or gold lines in them. And so it just seemed logical to bring in some gold. And I think it's kind of fun. I've done some different things with these sketches. The first one I used the embossed panel to add some detail. This one I've added some gold mirrored cardstock just to kind of jazz it up. The next one I think I bring in some glitter, and I'm just kind of bringing in some different elements to kind of add a little extra sparkle or detail to the sketches and just kind of make them pop. And so I've got a stack of books with a sentiment on it that we're going to pop up on our kind of diagonal there and get it laid down on there. And then I've got that strip of paper there at the bottom that's just calling out for something. So I'm going to go digging in my little tray with my ephemera and find some pieces. And I thought, we've got that butterfly paper and we've got some butterflies in here. So I'm searching for the appropriate color of butterflies that I want to use. There's another one in there, and I'm having a hard time getting a hold of it. And so I'm going to grab my tweezers and get it out of there. So I don't have any fingernails, and I can't get underneath it. So I'm going to grab my tweezers and just give it a grab. And I wanted to have the two different colors. The blue is kind of like the bottom book, that the blue butterfly, and then we've got the pink that kind of matches the rest. And so I thought I would just layer them up, glue the blue one down, and then just pop the pink one up beside it and just add some more dimension to our card and a little more interest, and I think it looks pretty. Now I do have some embellishments in my tray, so I decided to go ahead and grab a couple of those and lay those down on the left side of that strip of paper, just to add a little bit more interest to it. And so I'm just going to line 3 up kind of on a diagonal there. And that'll finish off this sketch. So I think it looks really nice. So we're going to go on to our next sketch. I think this is 10. And I've got some glitter ombre cardstock that I've had cut to an A2 size panel, and it's been sitting in there forever. And I thought, I'm going to use it. We've got it really matches nicely with the pattern paper that I'm going to bring in. And so this will just add some more sparkle and shine to our card and just kind of make this sketch more interesting. Now there I was trying to decide if I wanted the pink at the top or the bottom. And I thought the top is going to mostly be covered with our panels. So let's go ahead and put the pink at the bottom because we've got a lot of pink that's going to go on the top. And we're going to cover up that other, and I think it'll just kind of make it blend better. So I've got all of my pieces cut and ready to go here. I think I've realized that I've lost one because I actually have 4 there, but one of them is not looking right. It's not the right color. And so you can see I'm kind of looking at them, trying to decide what did I have here. I thought I had 4 pieces of the same, and I was just flipping 2 over. And I did, in fact, and I will find it. It's just going to take me a minute to kind of look around and figure out what I did. When I laid my sketches to the side, they kind of just kind of slid off into some other strips that I had cut. There we go. Now I found it. And so that's what caused me to get them messed up. So it's a little chaotic, but it'll come together. So I've got 2 strips of the butterfly and then 2 strips of kind of the, I don't know, almost like a tan colored cardstock, and that's the back of the butterfly paper. And we're just going to get these lined up. And I'm having trouble kind of butting the edges up to each other and keeping them there. So I decided to go off camera and grab some washi tape and then to just tape them down. And I thought I'd just line them up and then put a little piece of tape on there just to kind of keep them in place. I was just trying to get them all squared up how they needed to be and not, fuss with it by gluing it down that way. So I'm just going to line them all up here and put a little piece of tape on there. because these are kind of all offset just according to the sketch. You've got one, you know, on the top, one on the bottom, and, you know, just kind of offset there. And so I'll just put my tape on here, and then I'll grab my tweezers and pick it up, and then we can add some glue to it. And I grabbed it, and then I started putting glue, and I thought, I should have just glued the side the tape was on, and then I wouldn't have had to remove it. I could have just stuck it down, but I was already into that when I thought of it. So I'm just going to give it a good press, and then we'll just pull those tape pieces off. But I could have just flipped it over, glued it up, and had the tape underneath there, and it would not have mattered. But I'm just going to pull the tape off. Again, no fingernails, so I'm struggling with getting this tape off. And speaking of fingernails, this blue polish was a nightmare. I had polished my fingernails twice last night, was unhappy with the first round and did it again, and put some blue on there with some matte gel finish, and it gives it a real dull look, and it just looked horrendous. So it's not normally my style for my fingernails, but it's what it is. I did order some more Dazzle, another Dazzle kit, because I'm kind of out, and so I've got that coming in, and I can't wait because my nails are a mess. Anyway, so this sketch is coming together. We're going to bring in the elements. We've got the gal there that's sniffing the flower. We need another layer. I think the sketch actually calls for 3 layers there, but I'm just using scraps that I've got there. I love to just pull in scraps, and that's what I'm trying to do with all these, or just all of these bits and pieces were just scraps, remnants from other cards that I had made with the particular 6x6 pattern paper. Now here I'm just fooling around with this floral piece in the gal and trying to figure out how I can make these things work on here. And so we're just going to put some foam tape. We're going to pop our gal up. She's smelling a rose or a flower. It's not, don't think it's a rose. And then we've got this other little ephemera piece, trying to use up, you know, several pieces of ephemera because we've got a lot of it. And we're just going to get this floral piece laid down on here. And we've kind of got an area where we've got a little bit of room for a sentiment. And I just pulled out an Easter blessing that I had stamped and heat embossed the other day, and it was in there, and just cut it down for my sentiment. And there we go. We've got 3 cards. So we're going to move on to the next one. And this one was tricky. It's got, I think, 7 pieces of pattern paper that you have to layer up, if I counted right. I don't know. And I've got them all on here, and we've just got a card panel that we're going to layer them all up on. And I'm going to bring in another card base and give it a good score. And then this is going to be a landscape card. So I'm going to turn it, and we'll get our paper laid down. And this is cut down with 1/4 inch off, so we're going to have a little white frame around it, and we'll just get it laid down on there. And then this is another one where you've got to line up all kinds of pieces of paper and kind of butt them up next to each other and make them fit on your card panel with a nice frame around it. Now this one I didn't tape. I thought I'm just going to wing it. And so I'm just trying to figure out where all my pieces are and make sure I've got all the right ones. I think I find out that one of them must have fallen aside, and I picked up a wrong one or something. I think because I didn't have 2 of that pink color right side by side, and I'm like, what did I do? I know I didn't have these 2 lined up. So I'll have to go looking for that other piece, because when they kind of toppled over, I kind of got them mixed up. So I grabbed this other piece, and I thought this could work, but it's the wrong size, so we're going to just trim it down a little bit. The other one was not long enough. I'm just going to get all of my bits and pieces here. And I'm like, yeah, I can work with that one, but I've got to trim it down a little bit. So I'm looking at my sketch and getting my measurement, and I think I've got to take off 1/4 inch on this one. So just bringing in my paper trimmer off to the side, holding it in the air, not even laying it down and cutting it. I was just kind of winging it. I actually had on White Sparrow Living Luke 7, which is a crafty channel that I like to watch. And I was watching her as I was making these cards and was enjoying it. She was making a bunch of gifts for a new baby they had in their family, and it was fun watching it. And she is also launching a new product line that I'm extremely excited about. In fact, I went to her channel and subscribed actually to her, I am a subscriber of her channel, but to her website, because she's going to be releasing some new product that I'm real interested in. She's making some Bible bags and some different things, and I think it looks very fun. Anyway, check her out, White Sparrow Living Luke 7. She does a lot. It's not a card making channel. It is a DIY channel with a lot of fun household things, and I've enjoyed watching her since COVID. I got started on COVID, and it's a very relaxing channel. And during that time when things were very stressful, I found that channel to be very relaxing. So I'd encourage you to check it out if you haven't. Anywho, that's what I was doing. So I'm going to lay my birds down on this stack of books, give it a press. I've got more birds in there, so I'm going to go looking for some more. I'm going to bring in another bird. This one kind of has a floral pattern on it, and it's kind of interesting looking, so I thought I would lay it down on there. And then we're going to pull in a sentiment for this as well. So we'll get that laid down on there, and I think that'll pretty much finish off this card. There we go. We've got Saved by Grace on there. So here's the first card we've made. Here's our second one. And we're using Kindred Sketches, the third and then the fourth. And then I think I can finish the rest of these up on my live on Monday. So check us out Monday at 6 p.m. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.